welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening. We're past 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and I have made it. I have made it yet again. Not sure what I wanted to speak about this evening, but I did know there was something that I did want to do, and something that I haven't done since last week, and that is an AMA. I'm happy that we're having an AMA. I will always start you off with some kind of idea, but then again, afterwards, we can chat about whatever you like to chat about. So today, I would sit back and I was thinking about something that I saw, a couple of different shows about news, some stories about this. I thought to myself, the Democrats are in trouble. I've been saying this since last year. They're in trouble. It's obvious they're in trouble. They know they're in trouble. The world knows the Democrats are in trouble. And so far, all they've done is basically go, well, we're in trouble, but, Orange Man is bad. And then when that didn't work, they said, well, that's fine because Spaceman is bad. So Spaceman is bad, and that'll cover what Orange Man is bad. Well, Spaceman's leaving, so they can't do Spaceman's bad anymore. They got to go back to Orange Man bad, but that hasn't worked in about 10 years. So how do we look at the Democratic Party now? What can they do? My thought process was, well, you should probably, again, I'm not economically left, but a lot of Americans are. So why don't you push economically left? And that might be a way. Go back to Bernie's, Medicare for all those goodies. What I thought. Well, that was one option. And then Ezra Klein, in a whole separate section of the Democratic Party, said, no. We're going to do what's right. We're going to take the problems with Democrats, which is the bureaucracy and the establishment, and we're going to end that. We're going to get rid of the establishment, and we're going to push away the establishment. That's what we're going to do. Push away the establishment. That was their thought process. And I thought, well, that's not bad either. And then Democrats said, no, we're just going to do the most important. We're going to go figure out how to find white men because we've lost them. So we're going to go ahead and find these white men. Okay. I mean, all right. I mean, I like the other two ideas better, but fine. We want to go find white men. Okay, great. So if you can do that, if that's your plan, Democrats, I got it. What are you going to do? Well, they came up with a plan. It's called SAM. Speaking with something men. Whatever. I forgot what the A was for. Speaking something, whatever it was. They got rid of it, though. They said, well, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get rid of it. Why? Because we got the plan. The Democrats said the plan is we're going to figure out how to talk to white men by using an individual who's going to help us out. An activist, Gen Z activist. That'll save us. I wish I was joking. And they grabbed a woman named, if I get her name right, Olivia Juliana. Yes, I said a woman. Yes. Women. They picked a woman to go get men? True. Well, it's like you're going to follow the Fox News type and do like a hot blonde chick or something, right? You can do that, right? You got to sucker the men in, right? Like that. No. She's gay or queer or something. Yeah, I'm not joking. So they went, wow, we're going to do that. Now you might laugh and say I'm joking. Oh, no. I'm going to show you right now who they did. Just so you realize I'm not playing. Literally, they decided that they were going to find this woman. And they brought on their boy, Harry Sisson, who is their other, I guess, macho guy. Well, full of effeminate men. And he's going to show you how cool she is. Watch.
This is one of the most viral stories in politics right now, and it actually involves a friend of mine, Olivia Juliana, who's a Democratic content creator, activist, and good person. She was recently attacked online by Donald Trump Jr. and other aspects of the Trump operation, and she published a video response calling them out by name, and the video is going everywhere right now, just incredibly viral. So
it's viral everywhere. Now, not just because he says it, but then she responds. Now, the problem is I don't really care, to be forward, whether they pick this woman or not. Good luck, Democrats. I honestly hope they do better, right? If I was a consultant, this is not what I would tell them to do at all. But they can do what they want to do, right? The problem is, if you're going to find this, if you're going to do this thing, if you're going to say, we're going to find a person to go do this, they don't have anybody. That's the problem. This is actually one of the best things they can get right here. This is the best one. They can't use Harry Sisson because he's a joke and an effeminate male. So they said, well, what are we going to do? We can't use our effeminate males. We have tons of effeminate males. We can't use those because those don't work. Those have been failing for years. I know. We'll use a masculine woman. I wish I was
I
joking.
want to play this clip for you, but before I do so, I want to give you some context on how we got here. Recently, Olivia did a podcast where she specifically talked about how the Democratic Party can win back young men.
Now, she decided she's going to do it. And you know what her answer was? Her answer was scold them. I'm not joking. I literally told you this months ago. The entire piece of this last election was the I'm tired of being scolded election. And Democrats said, what can we do? I know, double down on scolding. We didn't scold enough.
Convince them to vote for Democrats again. And I guess Republicans really just don't like Gen Zers being involved in politics because the Trump War Room and other accounts took specific issue with this clip. Have a look.
Because they're joking.
I also think it's just so abundantly clear that the people who say these things don't actually spend time talking to young men.
So to be clear, Democrats spend more time talking to young men than Republicans. I don't know what planet she lives on. I'm not even joking. I don't know what, and these guys like, yeah, that's right. That's what no, they don't. Trump went to the Bronx. Now, look, I'm not pumping up Trump. I'm just saying Trump went to the Bronx. Some people who are watching now were there, and they saw him talk to young men. Right? He talks to Barron, his kids. He went on Joe Rogan. I'm trying to remember which Democratic congressperson went on. Oh, wait, none of them.
You know this because we know each other in real life, but I spent a lot of time on college campuses, and I spent a lot of time with
young men.
I love young men. I love frat guys. And in that,
okay, she supposedly is queer. She says so, not me. That's not my words, her words. I'm gonna be very clear. She identifies as queer. I love young men. That doesn't sound good at all. But yeah.
I realized, like, even the ones that identify as conservative are almost always pro-choice. They're almost always pro-gay marriage. You'd be surprised at the number of them who support Black Lives Matter.
Okay, you'd be surprised. They don't support BLM, but that's fine. Here's the problem. You're right. There are many conservative men who are actually pro-gay marriage. That's true. Many of them. There are many conservative men, young men too, specifically, who are pro-choice. That's true. Is Donald Trump pro-choice? He is. Does he support gay marriage? He does. Does Donald Trump act like he hates men? No. Does almost every Democrat on the planet act like they hate men? Yes. This is what she's not getting, and this is an insult. Look, I'm not a Democrat. If I was a Democratic man, this would annoy me. I'd be like, you guys screwed it up again? Again, you screwed it up. Why are you bothering? I asked the question. Should the Democrats just give up and not give up on men? Yes. Just give up. Just give up. If this is your answer, please stop. If this is your answer, just stop. You're just embarrassing yourself. You know what? Focus on effeminate men, masculine women, Black women, members of the LGBT community. You're good. Focus on them. There's lots of them. Focus on getting the vote out. You'll win some elections that way. And there'll be some effeminate men who show up, like Harry says. They'll show up. That's about it.
And so I feel like people just kind of lump them into this box when the truth is, again, a lot of them are with us on the issues. They're just not part of our coalition because they feel like they're not welcomed in it.
Yes, because they're not. If they were, okay, let's go the reverse. Let's say Republicans decided, hey, we want to try to get Black men. Let's see if we can find a Black man who's a conservative and a Republican to be our spokesperson. They have thousands of people to choose from. I'm being forward. Thousands to choose from. There's thousands of them to choose from. Right? Let's find a Hispanic man. Thousands to choose from. Women, thousands. Now, where they would struggle is Black women. Black women, the Republican Party would struggle for that. They would. But that's about the only place they would struggle would be Black women. Black women are massively Democrats. So Republicans would struggle on that. But other than that demographic, they'd be fine. The Democrats are struggling on this one, finding any masculine men. No masked man wants to be Italian to
Yeah,
this.
I mean, look, Olivia is absolutely right. And that's probably what's driving these Republicans crazy. The Democratic Party has a lot of policies that these young men on college campuses around the country who voted for Donald Trump actually agree with. A lot of young men are pro-choice. They're pro-gay marriage.
So is Donald Trump. It's like they don't understand. I'm going to get rid of this because this is just showing how bad this is. That's fine. But you see how bad this is. This is their answer. Now, you might go, Larry, that's pretty bad. Oh, I'm not done. I got a little bit more. I'm going to show you. A little bit more. That one, you can see that if you want to, if you want to. This is Vosh, who I know Vosh had been in the show a couple times. He is all in Democrats. He has complete and total TDS. It's not even close. He used to be not as bad, but he really has TDS, like hardcore. He is not an establishment Democrat, generally speaking, but he was all in on Harris because gotta stop Trump. Trump's end of the world. Everyone's gonna die. Trump's gonna kill us all. And this is him. Just so you wait. He's on this piece too. He's also concerned.
Biden dead ender who was like the epitome of like fake Gen Z relatability.
And I also want you to talk about one of the newer.
He hates her. Again, he has TDS. He hates her. He should be like, this is our champion. That's what he should be like. Oh, he's not.
Articles that you wrote about why men drifted right in the previous.
She wrote the articles on why men drifted left. Where is the guy to write those articles? That dude doesn't exist. That dude doesn't exist.
I consider myself a resident expert on this because I am a man. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we could have an interesting conversation.
I mean,
on the conclusions you reach in that.
1 second. We should care more about young men. Well, that's nice. Republicans.
See, he doesn't care. He gets it. He's like, forget it. Now, Vosh is also gay, by the way. So Vosh is more masculine than the other men here, and Vosh is gay. I'm just saying. He's more masculine. Vosh is more masculine than the other guys.
Taken over the cultural spaces beloved by young men, and Democrats have failed to create a space for them within our party. Okay. Substack, The Contrarian, The Masculinity Crisis, How Economic Struggles and Andrew Tate Are Radicalizing Young Men. Oh,
see? Economic struggles and Andrew Tate. It's not their fault. There's the issue. It's not their fault. User Vosh is bi. True. Vosh is bi, but yes, but true. Yes, that's accurate. He is, but fine. He's bi, not gay.
Andrew Tate's in the news today. Didn't he get hit with rape charges in the UK?
Bingo. Now he goes to shaming because the left always dismisses the right distraction. And they just dismiss. No accountability, no nothing. All, yes, absolutely.
Whatever. Let's look at it.
Article.
Yeah. So my Substack it's called A New Perspective, oliviajuliana.substack.com. And we're actually very close to hitting 100,000 subscribers on Substack. I'm very excited.
Yay! 100,000 people, all of them already Democrats who are going to vote for you. You will gain nothing. But nice.
But I write a lot about politics, and I hate that all these newsletters are the same. There's so many Substacks.
All right, I'm gonna get rid of that. I just want you to know that Vosh doesn't even like her. Vosh should, in theory, he should be like, here is my champion. No, he doesn't either. All right, but I gotta go one more spot. This actually is from a Jimmy Dore show, but it's not Jimmy Dore. He was out. Some of the other guys from Due Dissidence were in there, and they're talking about David Hogg. Now, why do I bring up David Hogg? All right. Some of you I know don't like David Hogg. I get it. His politics are terrible. However, when you look at the Democratic Party and the people they have in it, David Hogg is one of the most masculine guys they have. Look at the competition. He's one of the most masculine guys that Democrats have. He actually is talking about things, fighting, saying we're going to do stuff, blah, blah, blah. And here's why I'm going to give the man credit. He showed up with a debate to debate Spike Cohen about the Second Amendment. The debate was embarrassing. Spike was polite and nicer than he needed to be. It was horrible. I mean, Spike wrecked him. But I love Spike, and he was so good. He was good. He could have crushed him into the ground. He did not. He just bent him over, spanked him a couple of times, said, go home. which was nice. That was good. He could have done a whole lot worse. He got devastated. But David Hogg showed up, took his ass whipping until the end, and left. So I'll give him that. I will give the man that much. He's that at least, right? At least that. So my point being, at least he showed up. Most Democrats will never show up. They won't even show. You know this. They will avoid. They will dodge. Mike, you're attacking David Hogg. Mike will show up to debate you. I'm sorry. Hogg will show up to debate you. Democrats won't. Democrats won't. Hogg would. I'm just saying, that's it. He goes, and Hogg is not masking outside the DNC event. He was. Again, this is the part that some of you aren't getting here. You have the army you have. Democrats have who they have, right? It's not like they can just magically just bring in somebody else. They have who they have. Well, when you're a Democrat, Hogg is basically the guy that they got. That's it. That's as far as they got. I'm not saying he's super macho guy. I'm not, Mike. I'm saying, okay, let me see if I can put my point here. All right, this is, I'm going to go down this, to talk about Hogg and how they got rid of him. And then here is the guy talking about how they got rid of him. The rules. Here's the rules.
Officers when Hogg and Kenyatta were elected. So before we comment, we should take a look at the tape to see what
them
the
talking.
rules on.
This is the Democratic Party, Mike. This is the Democratic Party. Here's how they're dealing with their stuff.
Gender equity are, because
Yes.
I'm sure they can't be all that difficult to follow. So here's
Here we go.
DNC Chair Jamie Harrison going over the gender equity rules.
Specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer,
Okay.
the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced.
Yes. This is what he's up against, Mike. So if I have to compare David Hogg to this guy and this stuff, Hogg's a stud. That's all I'm saying. Right? It's relative. This is what Democrats are working with. This is why the answer to my own question is give up on men. You can't get them with this. No masculine men look at us and go, damn, I can't wait to join this party. Look at all those pronouns there. And by the way, those pronouns were put there by the DNC. This isn't someone teasing. They put the pronouns up there. The DNC did that. Yeah.
With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female.
Well,
Easy to follow so far, right? Everybody's keeping up with this.
Well,
right?
good.
It's gonna
I'm
be
with
who's
you,
on
brother.
first very soon.
Couldn't be simpler.
In order to be gender balanced,
Gotta be gender balance.
we must elect.
He has to read it because he doesn't even know the stupid rules they made up, but they're following them. Now, if they had masculine men in charge, the masculine men would say, David Hogg is one of the best we've got. We're keeping him. All the rest of you whiny people, shut up. We're keeping him. This is why I cannot be chair of the LP, because that's what I would say. If we actually had a champion that could fight compared to the rest, I would take him. As you've heard me say before many times, I compare this to Lincoln and the Northern generals. The Southern generals during the Civil War were far better than the Northern generals. Anyone who studied this knows this to be true. They were far better. Lincoln put a whole bunch of trust into Grant and Sherman, another guy, Hooker, I believe it was Hooker. Those 3 generals, a whole lot into those 3. People said, why? These guys are jerks. These guys are this. And his answer was very simple. They'll fight. I don't care. They'll fight. I got nobody. This is who I got. My other generals are garbage. I got 3 good generals. The rest suck. They won't even fight. These 3 will. They're my generals. Done. I don't care how bad they are. And Lincoln was right. That's who he had. The best generals went to the South. He didn't have them. Well, the most masculine men, Mike, they're not a DNC. Hogg is Grant. That's who you got. Have him fight. He'll show up. Go. He'll go on Bill Maher. Go. That's who you got. There's nobody else. And the DNC said, nope, rules. The entire point behind the book Abundance which was the Democratic Party, a section of trying to fix the Democratic Party, was to say, stop with the bureaucracy. It's crushing us. The rules are destroying us. That's why the Republicans are going towards autocracy, because the rules are crushing us. We can't get anything done. And what did DNC do? Double down on bureaucracy. Double down on this. Double down. Hogg said, he said on Bill Maher, he goes, why are we caring about gender balancing when we need someone who can win? We need someone who can do the job. We're in trouble. He's right. He's right. If you're a Democrat and you're focusing on gender at this point, don't bother going for men. Focus on gender. That's what I'm saying. Don't bother. You can't win with this type of environment. You can't get men this kind of environment. This environment's broken. I mean, come on. The men are laughing.
Right.
One female and one person of any gender.
Okay.
What a colossal waste. Now I got to keep going because there's something else I want to show you here after this as we go down this whole road. This is MSNBC talking about this.
Yeah.
Who do
They
have?
have to make people feel like they're in good hands, and I think they're well on their way to doing that.
MSNBC
It can't possibly
doing
be
a
that
panel.
David Hogg is advocating for primary challenges against useless incumbent Democrats, because here is Jamie Harrison on MSNBC insisting that the Democratic primary last time around was really open to anyone who wanted to become involved. This is
that's what he said.
Key and Peele character in the top right square.
no, that's the
That was
Is
kind of
that
cute.
Keel or Peele? I'm not sure.
That was cute.
bottom right. There we go. He's on the
Okay.
bottom right, just so you know.
Chair of the Democratic National Committee, Jamie Harrison. Mr. Chairman, welcome back
I'm not
to
opening
the
it up
show.
for you guys so you can see it. There we go.
Just what do you make of the
Now, here is the panel on the Democratic Party's path forward. 3 effeminate black men and a woman. The guy in the upper right, I know is gay. I think the guy in the bottom right, I think the other 2 men are both gay also, I think. But I know the guy up right, he's gay. I think the other 2 are also gay or bi or something, right? And again, not against it. Not against it. You know, you do you. You know me, I'm libertarian. You see who you want to see, act how you want to act, be who you want to be. All I'm saying is, if your goal is to get masculine men, this isn't going to help. This is the wrong panel, is all I'm saying. It's like, remember when the Republicans years ago were like, we're going to talk about women's health, and it was all like Catholic priest males on that panel, like that. This is the equivalent from 20 years ago, whenever that was. The equivalent. You can't do it with effeminate black men and women. That's not going to do it. And that's another panel on MSNBC. It was all women with 3 names. All 3 named women. So it was all masculine women. Look, let's just if you're a Democratic Party, go after effeminate men, masculine women. That's women with PhDs. They love you. They're going to vote for you no matter what you do. Go get more of them to show up. Go get LGBTQ people. Do that. Get black women. Just do that until your party eventually collapses or Republican Party collapses. One or two will collapse eventually. Do that until one of them collapses. The Republican Party collapses, you'll pick up the pieces. If you collapse, something else will pop up instead. Either one's a win. There's no way. You can't. Not with this. You just can't. That's the panel. And then watch this guy just lie.
internally infighting within the DNC right now between David Hogg, the vice chair, and the rest of the party?
Yeah. Well, listen, I have a great respect for David and the work that he's doing to get good candidates and younger people involved in the Democratic Party.
That's a lie.
I do believe that he's uber talented. But
he's uber talented, so we're going to get rid of him?
What's really, really important, and I've had conversations with David and conversations with folks in the DNC, is to understand that you're a fiduciary. As an officer of the DNC, you're a fiduciary of the Democratic Party. You have a responsibility to the—
Okay, they were so corrupt, it's embarrassing. I'm done with this. I can't even finish this guy talking. He then talks later on and says how the Democratic Party was totally fair when it came to the primary last year. He's absolutely lying and absolute garbage. So, yes, just want to put that piece up. That's what they're going to do. Now, the last one I'm going to put up, and then I'll be done. This is, by the way, a woman who I love, Rihanna Joy Gray. Adore her. If you're listening, Brianna, I adore you. I'm just being clear. She is another part of like the left who's trying to fix things, right? Her also. She cares about the left. She's lefty. She cares about the left tremendously. She put a panel together also. So MSNBC had that panel together. Not a masculine man to be found. The DNC, not a masculine man to be found. Pick their champion, a gay woman, or she calls herself queer, a queer woman. She put herself in. Well, now Brianna's going to take the charge. Okay, Brianna, what you going to show me? Again, before I do this, Brianna, if you're watching, I adore you, but I'm just being very forward. Even she's trying to fix things. And what panel does she put together? Here's her panel. 2 effeminate men, 1 effeminate woman. I'm sorry, 1 masculine woman. I don't know this, but I'm sure she's a single mom. I think the guy on the upper right is gay. The guy on the upper left is, I think he's on the spectrum. But the guy on the bottom, the woman on the bottom left, I'm sure she's a single mom. So I'm probably none of them are married. They're all like professors. Every one of them professors. Every one of them from Ivy League schools, including Brianna. And she thinks this is going to solve the problem. You know what Democrats need more of? More effeminate men, masculine women who come from the Ivy League, who are in colleges. That's what we need. More of that. This party is broken and has no chance of getting men ever. Just stop. I don't mean to be mean about this. I'm doing Democrats a favor right now. If you're listening, if you're a Democrat and you're listening, tell your party to stop trying to get men. You cannot. With this type of system, with this type of culture, you simply cannot. You can't. And men are going further and further right, particularly young men, all across the world, by the way. But more here in America, they're going more further right. They're not going to come left. And you can't do what the DNC chick is saying, which is talk about economics or whatever. They're not going to hear you. And you can't do it anyway. Here's the worst part. Trump is not doing well on a world stage right now. I know some Republicans don't like to hear that, but he's not. So what is he doing? Well, he's biting off of RFK Jr. Good for him. He should get respect for that. He brought RFK in. He deserves to take the credit for that. And he is. Well done on him on that. Second thing he's doing is he's now doubling down on culture war stuff. Why? Because Democrats keep falling into it again. Democrats should be focusing on economic issues. They're not. They're going right back because this is all they have. They can't find masculine men to step up. Who got? Waltz? He's the masculine man you got? That's the guy? Nothing. All right. I yapped away. I do love Brianna. Just saying it. Missy go, Larry has it bad for Brianna. You're not wrong. But I still gotta be true. I gotta say it. Yes. Thank you for the $5, MW Knox. If the left doesn't ditch the weird gender stuff and keeps bashing young men for being manly, they will make Franco and Pinochet look appealing. You have hit it out of the park. And this is what the Democratic Party does not get. Some people on the left get that. People who are for the left Democratic Party. Some of them get it. Some of them do. Which is why you find some people on like very far left, like hardcore left. Some of them are actually masculine because they're talking about things that would be more violent. That's what I'll say. They're talking about that. Like they are there. But the rest, no, you're right. The idea that, and this is what the Olivia Juliana, who has no chance of making any impact whatsoever, who's just a big grifter, obviously. She's going to be like, we'll just talk to them about, this is what she said. She literally said, well, they're pro-choice and we got to stop telling them, it's about protecting the woman. We got to tell them instead it's in their best interest in case they're getting women pregnant. Most young men aren't having sex. Does she not know that? She doesn't because she doesn't know what young men is. Most young men are not having sex. The largest chunk of men ever, under 30, ever, since they've been recording this and they've been recording for decades, the largest chunk ever haven't had sex in over a year. I'm sorry, with a woman in over a year. I'm not making this up. You check that yourself. Google it. It's everywhere. Young men aren't having sex. They're not knocking women up. Older men are, and a small percentage of hot, wealthy men are knocking women up. That's true, right? And they're not going to vote Democrat. They're not going to vote Democrat. They're the super hot macho men. They're voting Republican. Oh, they're not voting at all. They don't care. They got money. They don't give it. It's a non-thing. So what's going to happen? The young men, to your exact point, say, why are we focused on shit that doesn't matter? Well, I can't pay my bills. I can't have a girlfriend. I can't buy a house. I can't rent. I have to live with my mom. I have to live with 2 roommates. They don't give a crap about whatever gender this, what gender. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter. If I can't live my life, do I give a shit about anything else? I don't care. Oh, this guy, Trump, is going to yell and scream, or Franco or Pinochet is going to take care of things for me and make me feel great and give me a uniform and give me a job. I'm in. As I will, as told everybody on this channel 1,000 times, what demographic fills the armies of the fascists? It's always disgruntled young men. Every single time. It doesn't matter what country. It doesn't matter what year. It doesn't matter who the person is at the top. It's irrelevant. That's who fills the ranks of the armies. That's who builds the camps. That's who builds the gulags. That's who's the guards at the gulags and the camps. Every single time. And the Democrats go, we're going to keep scolding because that'll work. The problem with the Democratic elites right now, worse than ever, is they don't actually want to talk to men. They don't. They want to scold men into submission. Those days are over. That did work for a while. It's true. It worked for a while. Those days are over. Those days are over. Bill Maher said it. He has some gems. I know a lot of guys don't like Bill Maher, but he has some gems. One of the gems he said, this is several years ago, had two people who are more liberal on his panel going, I don't understand why these dumb conservatives vote against their interests. Why don't they vote for us? Blah, blah, blah. And he says, because they hate you. And the reason is they know you hate them. True. Bill Maher's right. And so are you, my friend. Thank you for that. By the way, guys, if you want your chat to go right to the front, you can simply super chat me. You can super chat me here on YouTube if you want to, or if you want to, you can also rant me on Rumble if you want to. I'm on Rumble right now also, so you can super chat me here or rant me on Rumble. But no matter what, if you like what I'm saying, I'm now going to go over to comments. Please do me that good important favor. Click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. I need more people to see this. How can I grow out of this? How can I do this? If people don't see it, click that. You know what I'm telling you to do. Click it so that Mr. Rhythm, Rhythm, so he can send this out other places. Do so. If you have not shared or reposted this, you hate young men. Why do you hate them? What do they do to you? Don't hate them. Share or repost this, because if you don't share or repost this, you hate young men. Don't hate young men. Share and repost this. If you haven't followed me on all the things, please follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble. If you want to subscribe to Sharpe or YouTube, please do so. Make sure you click all notifications. Check it to make sure you've done so. Membership is important. If you can become a member, please do so. $49 per month. Click that join button, or you can go over on Rumble, do it too. Also on Rumble if you want to. And, you can also do it on Rumble if you want to. And of course, you also, by the way, those of you listening or watching on Facebook, you can become a member on Facebook if you want to. Click subscribe on Facebook if you like. So you can help me out either way, but no matter what, please click that button that I just bugged you with. All right, let me grab some comments if I can, and get some AMA stuff in. So no, this is an AMA. I hope I kicked us off on something interesting at least. I hope so. So let me keep going down here if I can. Number one, Kim says, the show you were on last night, I missed live. Please forgive me, Larry, for if I had been in the live chat, you would have been a winner. Oh, thank you, Kim. Yes, well, no, I don't mind. Look, Chase was the presidential candidate. He can win. It's fine. I mean, I'm better looking. It's all that really matters, Kim, right? That's all I'm saying. So yes. All righty. Let's see here. Michael says, yes, give up. Michael's with me. Mike, I'm with you. Just give up. Just give up. The Ohio Coalition. I have to get you guys back on. I've had you on my show before. I should go back there. You say no, Democrats should not give up. I don't know how they can make it happen. The environment in the Democratic Party is so anti-man. I don't know how you do it. You can see it everywhere. The Democratic Party establishment, not Democrats, the party establishment, average Democrats are just average people, but the party establishment is so anti-male, particularly white male, but anti-male. It just is. I'm not making this up. You can see it everywhere. I just showed you 4 or 5 examples I pulled out of nowhere. You can Google it and see it. It is bad. And the type of thing you can say in the Democratic Party, oh my God, the way you can just attack men and attack, particularly white men, but men in general. Oh my God. I see why men don't like the Democratic Party. There has to be massive change in their infrastructure for them to be able to make that change. So yes, I think that's an issue. So I'm gonna grab a couple more of these if I can. All right. Watchwinder says, I'm one of the 21% of voters that still supports the party of love, unity, and tolerance. I'll vote blue no matter who. I think there are lots of you out there. The question, Watchwinder, becomes, can you get enough people to win elections, right? And I think in many areas that's easy. Depends on where you are. New York City is one of them, easy to do. But in areas that are more of a mix, how do you get them? Now you have, I think, a couple of options. Option one, you agree with what the other person just said, which is, go after the men, try to get men back. Because not only has the Democratic Party lost men, it is increasingly losing them and losing more of them to include Hispanic men, Black men, all of them. They're losing all men. That's happening now. So the question becomes, do you try to get them back somehow? Or do you simply work on what I think is my personal opinion is a more effective option? Focus on turnout. If you can get all of the effeminate men, masculine women, women in general, Black women, people of color, LGBTQ, if you get all of them out, you can win, because a lot of Republicans won't vote. You see, it's the way it is. If you focus instead on getting the vote out, I think you can win that way. I don't see Democrats winning the other way. I just don't. Everything that Trump is doing, his polls aren't tanking. They're going down, but they should be, in theory, tanking. The problem is they don't see anything else, right? So if I'm some young male, I can listen to Olivia Juliana yell at me and scold me, right? Whatever. I could do that option, which I'm never going to do. I don't care what she says if I'm a young man. I just go with Trump. Fine. I mean, he's a jerk, but I don't hate him. He doesn't hate me. And when it comes to voting, look, like it or not, people very often don't vote on actual policies that will help or harm them. They vote on people they connect with. And there is no connection between the vast majority of males in America and the Democratic Party. There's no connection. There isn't. So, yeah. Matt, thank you for the $5. Does it even matter if Dems are in trouble? It's not Crips versus Bloods. It's establishment versus us. It'll still be the same foreign policy and equal policy, Dem or Pub. I think it's a valid question. My worry is, as I said before, is always my worry. I see New York State. New York State is run by Democrats with no one to push them at all, so it gets even worse. If Republicans have no one to vote against them, they'll get just as corrupt as Democrats in the opposite side, right? So I don't want single party states. In my perfect world, I'd like third parties to grow, but I've been fighting for that for years, Matt, and been failing every single time, right? I've been trying this now for what? Almost 8 years, failing. But maybe I'll run again next year. Maybe I can fix it. I would like to have third parties to where you're right. I wouldn't care then. There'd be change, shift. And you might say, how do I know that? Look at RFK Jr. RFK Jr. ran as an independent and changed what the Republican Party's platform. The Republican Party's platform prior to RFK Jr. was not a Maha platform at all. And it still isn't only Maha, but Maha is now part of the Republican Party platform. It was not before. Now it's a part. And whether right now Trump is taking credit for, again, and I'll give him credit. He brought RFK Jr. in. He should take credit for it. I'm not fighting him. Well done, right? Well done. He's getting something. More third parties does make changes. So you're right. It's establishment versus us, but there's no us right now. So if I don't have us, I want at least establishment fighting each other, slowing each other down at least. I know it's not a lot. I know it's not great, man. I'm just being forward. I know it's not great. I know it's a crappy spot to be in. Yes. Thank you for the $5. Joel over on Rumble says, isn't it the ultimate outcome of diversity that everyone will become the same? Meaning if we mix it up enough, we blend into one. No. The goal of well, it depends. Let me give you what the goal of diversity is and should be. Should be what I teach when I talk about diversity in my business classes. The idea of diversity is diversity of thought with unity of purpose. That is the ultimate goal that all organizations should be trying to achieve. Diversity of thought, which may include gender or not, which may include race or not. I want diversity of thought. If that happens to be in different bodies or different skin color, fine. If not, that's okay too. Thought is the critical piece. Diversity of thought with a unity of purpose. The problem is diversity for diversity's sake actually brings in multiple purposes and breaks the entire area. because we don't have the same purpose. And we may or may not have diverse thought. What I mean by that, look at what I showed you with the bad faith and Brianna Joy Gray. All of those people think the same. There's an Indian man, white woman, black woman. They all think the same. There's no diversity of thought there. Why? Because they all went to Ivy League schools. So I have diversity there in theory, Joel, because I have 2 different genders, 3 different races. So I have diversity, right? I don't. If I'm in business, that's a terrible hire. They all think the same. So there is a diversity of thought there. Now, if it happened to be a white guy who came out of the trailer park and an Indian guy who grew up in, say, Mumbai, okay, then maybe I get diversity of thought. I'm winning at that point. If they all have the same goal. Separate goals, doesn't matter. Now we're failing. So that should be the goal of diversity. The actual diversity in America now is checkbox. I check the box. Doesn't matter if it works. Doesn't matter if it's effective. Check the box. This is what you just heard the Democratic Party talk about their gender equality, whatever thing. That none of them said pick the right person who will do the best for us. That doesn't matter. Who cares about that? Did I check the box? So I don't think we'll blend into one. We'll just all check boxes. And it will all fail, which is what you see government constantly failing. Diversity projects that are based upon check boxes and not about hiring practices, meaning I'm trying to get people with diversity of thought, different places, things like that. That's smart hiring. But if my hiring is based upon checkbox, which is what all DEI has become, it fails every time, which is why they fail so much. Checkboxes will always fail. That's how it works. I went long on that, but I hope it makes sense. Sharpe Fan 12 says President Trump's polls are even more impressive when you consider he gets 100% negative press coverage. Valid point. And Democrats should be afraid of that. They should be afraid of it. They should be worried. And they are. That's what they're saying. We got to do something. The problem is this what I just showed you is the perfect example of why the book Abundance by Ezra Klein is the right answer for Democrats. And they're not listening. Democratic establishment is not listening. They're attacking him. In fact, that podcast I showed you with Brianna Joy Gray, the entire hour was attacking Ezra Klein's process. Attacking it. MSNBC is trashing it. Terrible idea. It's bad. It's Republican light. Destroying it. What Ezra Klein's saying is the bureaucracy, the everything that we have together as Democrats is destroying us because we can't get anything done. That's why our cities suck. That's why every city that Democrats run is destroyed. Not because Democrats are bad. This is their argument. Not because Democrats are bad. Not because the policies are bad. Because we can't do anything. Everything is frozen. Here he comes with his book. Hey, here's how we fix Democrats. We're in trouble. Trump's kicking our ass. Here, take this book. Let's fix things. What are they doing? Bureaucracy destroying it. David Hogg shows up. Hey, I got an idea. Let's get rid of these old, stupid freaking Democrats who are just grifting, and let's fight them and get better ones in. Crush them. Gender equity, gone. The system is... Well, how did Bernie lose in 2016? The system. Literally facts right here. So, yeah. Anyway, just thought that's interesting. I hope that was interesting for you guys. Let me see if I have anyone talking on Instagram right now. No one talking on Instagram right now. So let me head on back, if I could, to what you are here. Shelley says, I gave up on Democrats in our state, and I'm starting to give up on the federal level for Democrats and half the Republicans. A lot of us are. I agree. A lot of us are. It's a problem. Yes. Andrew says, Dems gave up on men a long time ago. Women, on the other hand, it'll only be a matter of time. Andrew, you're right. That's why you made a very valid point. Democrats gave up on men a long time ago. I'm going to guess it was probably obvious around 2010, right after Obama is when it became obvious. Right after Obama is when it became obvious. They just kind of gave up on men. 2015, 2016, that was the end. Once Trump was elected, all men bad, right? That was like, that's over. 2016, over, right? So I'm agreeing with you. This is why they struggle so much, because they've set up the last 10 years an environment and a system to be anti-male. And if you guys think I'm making it up, you're not paying attention. I live in New York City. I know it. I see it. It is an anti-male system. Anti-masculine male. Sorry. Effeminate men are fine. But if you're a masculine male, you're the enemy. You are bad by default, right? You are bad by default. They're making up all types of rules and stuff, all types of stuff. So, yeah. You're seeing it everywhere. This is one of the reasons why they can't make change because of this. The system is have to be anti-male. You're right. Women aren't going anywhere. Women love the Democratic Party. You're wrong on that. Women love the Democratic Party. They love it. No problem. It's all about virtue signaling and scolding, right? All about scolding. Oh, they love that. No, you can see it. Women still love the Democratic Party. They're going nowhere. It's a matter of time, like what, 100 years? They love it. Absolutely. Dave says they don't need men. They have upper middle class, white, born female, non-binary, college-educated voter. Yes, and that's my point. They have to make sure the turnout is amazing because those people are not the majority of the country. But if they all vote, it won't matter because most people don't vote. So I agree with you, Dave, but they've got to focus on turnout. That's the key. They've got to focus on turnout more than anything else because they're not the majority. So yes. Jared says, trying to win the bigger woman lover vote. Well, yeah, true also. Yes. Dave says, I heard of Sam on Bill Maher. They had a meeting outside of San Francisco, and the meal consisted of food that working class men don't normally eat. Of course. Of course. Yes. Mastermind says, I hope you find someone who looks at you the way the DNC looks at Harry. I know they do love Harry, but Harry, again, is perfect. Harry's an effeminate male. He fits perfectly, right? Joel says, Harry's system is incredibly artificial. True, but that's fine. They're okay with that. You're right, and they don't care. They're fine with it. Yep. Mike says, yep, that's who influences me. An activist, gay, fat, not too attractive woman. Exactly the typical draw for men. That was dripping with so much sarcasm that I have to wipe my mouth. That's how much sarcasm came out of that, Mike. Yes. Again, why? But here's the point. Mike, don't you think somebody saw that? Right? Someone picked her. Someone in a Democratic establishment picked her. And that's my point. They were like, this is the one. They thought, good idea. Someone's like, we'll go her. Look at her and went, nailed it. Somebody did that. That is how broken the system is. In any other system, you and I know, if me and you are running the party, tomorrow they go crazy and go, hey, Mike and Larry, you run a Democratic Party of New York State. I don't know why they would ever do that, but they've done it. They've all gone crazy. And there's no way we're picking her. There's no way. I don't care what the rules say. I don't care who voted for it. I don't care. I'm like, that's not happening. Stop. That's not happening. Stop. She's gone. Next. Who else we got? Who else we got? You know that, Mike. We're not letting this happen. No way. But their system's like, yeah, perfect. They thought, oh, checks boxes. She's a woman. She's gay. She's an activist. Who doesn't love those three things? I know. That's how they think. This is my point. I can't see them doing it. I just can't. Damien says, yes, they should, sir. Glad I found your channel. Oh, well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. Yes, I agree. Don't bother. Eventually, one of the parties will collapse and just move on there. Don't bother. Kayjon says, there's no hope for either side of the Unit Party as long as greed and power lead, and I see no indication of that ever changing anytime soon. Well, I'll add the same thing. There are the advantage, I think, is I think the advantage is Trump actually making the impact with RFK Jr. gives me some hope, a little bit. Not that RFK Jr. doesn't want to make money, everybody does, but he already has it. And he also is an ideologue. And if ideologues can get ahead, maybe we got a shot. That's all I'm saying. Maybe we got a shot. That's my hope. I mean, maybe I'm a little optimistic. That's okay. Apocalyptic optimist, perfect timing, says, the fact they can't find a masculine male to speak to men tells you everything. Correct. Thank you. Yes. That piece is the biggest piece. The fact that they couldn't find one, and the closest thing they had, which is sad for them to say, David Hogg, but that's the closest thing they had. And they were, can't have that. That guy's nowhere near feminine enough. That guy's not feminine. And he's not super masculine, but he's still too masculine for them. Way too masculine. Does that guy even wear lipstick? No way. Get him out of here. So yeah, I mean, they couldn't even do that. So yes, 100%. Yes. So any case, Massman says, hold my soy latte. True. Ultimate Warrior, did you say a Michelin woman? I did not mention her weight. I know you guys did. I did not mention her weight or her attractiveness level. Why did I not do that? I have a rule, those of you who know me, unless I attack a male on looks, I do not bring up a female's looks. Why? Because traditionally we have been so hard on women, much harder, and our society still is. We judge women on their looks, and we should not, unless we judge men on their looks too. And some of us do. Like I do judge, I often will tease Gavin Newsom on how attractive he is. And if I do that, I will then attack a woman too, right? Because now I'm being fair. But unless I am attacking a male on his looks, I don't bring up a woman's looks because they're constantly being brought up anyway. I feel like it's unfair to women, so I don't bring it up. Again, unless I'm attacking a male too, then 100%. And Newsom is what I often attack on looks. So if I'm doing that, I will attack his female opponent or whatever on looks also, because now I'm being fair. Otherwise, I don't. Other things, not looks. Again, I know some people don't agree, but that's how I feel. And that's why I didn't bring it up at all. Not what I do. So, all righty. Let's see. Mastermind was going to say, I'm sure she's been to more than one frat hog party. She's been to a lot of parties, I know. And that's why she's bi or whatever she is. And yeah, all the youngsters are that. They just all are. Women, young women are. They all are. So Mike goes on to say, they are targeting the Pedro Pascal soy base. They already have. Michael, thank you. This is what they're good at. And that's my entire point. They're good at that, Mike. They draw those people in. Keep drawing them in. Why are you trying to? You have no infrastructure. This is like getting airmen from the Air Force to make an amphibious assault. Could they do it? Yeah. It's not going to go well, not because they're bad, because they're airmen and they have no training and they have no amphibious vehicles and they have no infrastructure and they have nothing to do an amphibious assault. They're airmen. That's not what they do. Marines do that. We're good at that. That's what we do. They don't. This is airmen making an amphibious assault. It's not what you do. Don't bother. You have no infrastructure to do so. It's clear. It's so crystal clear, right? Apocalypse said it right. The fact you can't even find a masculine man to do this. The Air Force couldn't find an amphibious vehicle. I'm with you 100%, Mike. It's crazy. Yeah, he goes, Dems and left activists have no idea how to talk to non-progressive sort. True. They're spending $20 million on this, for to watch the epic fail. It's not a fail, though. That's the one part you're off. It's not a fail. This is on purpose. Why? Democratic Party was recently struggling to raise money. I'm serious. Larry, you going to talk about money again? Yes, I am. Mike, they don't care if this works. They know it's not going to work. You and I both know it's not going to work. It's a way to raise money, to give money to the parties and to the grifting class. That's all this is. It is to make the people think, yeah, we have a plan, guys. Raise money. Yeah, what is that? Act Blue. Act Blue is in trouble, right? They're getting investigated or sued or something like that. They're in some kind of legal trouble. So they got to find ways to raise money. This was a money-raising scam. Sam, that's S speaking about men or whatever it was. This was all the money. Speaking to American men, is that what it was, Sam? You're right. It's $20 million raising money to give money to consultants. Olivia is going to make a killing off of this. This Juliana chick going to make a killing off of this, right? Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. So yeah, everything you said was correct, except the last part. It's actually not a fail. Like, it's already won. They've raised the money. They already won. They don't care about the outcome. The outcome's relevant. They don't care about that. They don't care. So yeah. Shags Malone says they will do anything to avoid an honest conversation. True. They shut down Charlie Kirk when he goes to a campus, but they offer no equivalent conversation. True. They can only dictate, not discuss. True. Well, the D. They can also dismiss. That's their goal. Insult and dismiss. If any of you care to watch Olivia and her thing, you can watch it. All she does is insult people and think, that's how I'll get you. See, Mike, I'll make you Democrat by insulting you. I'll own the conservatives. That'll teach you. Now you'll love me. And sadly, I think she actually believes that. The people who gave her money don't believe that and don't care. But she might actually, like, she thinks she believes it. I think Harry believes it too. I think they believe it. If we just scold more and show that we're strong by scolding, that'll get these crazy, dumb, conservative men over to us. If we just scold more, that'll work. I think some of them believe that. Clearly, that's not going to work. It hasn't worked for 10 years, but I think they do. So, Phil, how are you, sir? Thank you for the $5. A friend from the assembly said that if you don't win elections by convincing people, you win elections by turnout of your base. That's the plan. That's my point, Phil. That should be the plan for them. Democrats can actually do that. Mike is right when he says they talk to that group. They do. That's their skill set. So get every one of them out. If you get 90% turnout, you still win. Because Republicans get maybe 50% out. You get 90% out. Republicans get 50% out. You win. That's how you win this thing. Turnout. I think your friend is correct, Phil. I can't see Democrats doing anything else like that. I can't. I just don't see that. So, yeah. So, Andrea says maybe have better policies. That's work, Andrea, okay? That's work. I'm doing that. I'm here to get paid, okay? I'm not here to solve problems. I'm here to get paid and grift. Solving problems. Policy. You act like that's what government's for or something. I'm teasing you, obviously, but yeah. Mike says the leading cheerleader to drive black men to Republicans is just the daily message of the Democratic Party. I wish, right? I wish there was another answer. And what I mean by that, I wish more black men would not go Republican, but come my way, become libertarian. That's what I wish. But I think you're right. Most people see just two-party system. That's what they see. They see, well, if I'm not Democrat, I guess I'm Republican. I'd like them to go, wait a minute, well, where else can I go? So sadly, you're right, Mike. I wish they'd come to me, but I think you're right. Gaming says, agreed, sir. This is the reason the Democratic Party is the party of low testosterone men and high calorie women. You're not wrong. And they're good at that. But how sustainable is it? Right? How sustainable is it? Dave says, Tim Scott, comma, but conservatives don't trust minorities. They think minorities are social progressive. This is a serious issue, Dave. I think you're right, but I'm gonna give a caveat to this. There are a lot of, how to explain this? There are a lot of people in the Republican Party who are two things that will make this easier. One of them is people who just don't care about race at all, who think there's no problem, there's no issue, there's nothing, who cares, race doesn't matter at all. That's piece one. And I think that's the largest part of the Republican Party. That's my view. I don't have data on this. This is just my opinion of Republicans that I meet. Just my opinion. I have no data on this. I could be wrong. But my gut tells me that's the biggest chunk. They don't care. So what do they do? They look at how you talk. They look at what you say. And they judge you as one of the good ones or one of the bad ones. I'm telling you the truth. They see you that way. Oh, you say things that are conservative. You're one of the good ones. It's fine. Come on in. And they don't, and have no problem. Come on in. Most Republicans are happy to bring in minorities. Most are. Again, not all. Most are, as long as you speak the words that are conservative and or Republican. Like, oh, okay, you're fine. Come on in. Right? All good. Then there's a second part of the Republican Party that is actively hunting for minorities. That's a smaller chunk. They're actively hunting for them. And they're trying to find the right ones. They're looking for the Candace Owens of the world, the Officer Tatums of the world, looking for those. Right? They're looking for those types doing that. There's a chunk of Republicans who hate minorities, period, think they're all conservatives. I mean, think they're all progressives and they're all common. It's true. That's a smaller part of the Republican Party. The larger part of the Republican Party doesn't care at all. That's what I think. Doesn't care at all. If you just act conservative or something, fine, bring them in. The vast majority does. Is there a small part that is like, we hate, whatever, blacks or Hispanics? Yes, they exist, but they're a small part. And those people do not trust blacks and Hispanics. They think they're all really just, they're just, progressives. They're all gonna be. I think that does exist, but the vast majority don't think that. Yeah. So, Americula says that on my side says Dave Davis is wrong. Larry's right. We don't care about your mind or anyone's race. There are chunks of people do. Look, I never want to get the old police get at me. Of course, there are people who are racist in the Republican Party. Of course, there are. I'm saying the vast majority just don't care. And these Republicans I meet every day. I've met many Republicans when I cross New York State. I meet them all the time. Meet me and don't care about my race at all. Do not care. Don't care. And then some, the other part I was talking about, they like me because of my race. That's the small chunk I said who are like looking for black people, looking for Hispanics. The chunk of them too, who are like, I gotta get more black people to be conservative. I gotta get more Hispanics. I gotta get more Asian to be Hispanic. There's a chunk of them. When they come to my event, I know because they're like sitting next to me, smiling and like, oh yeah. So tell me about the Bronx. You find some of them too. So Republicans are not a monolith, just like Democrats aren't. So yes. Laura says, lol, they won't stop until they have completely buried themselves. A lot of men have a true live and let live attitude, really. Tired of being condescending to. There's the piece that drives me crazy. Yes. There's the piece that drives me crazy. You're totally right. A lot of men are like, just do you. I don't care. True. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. All righty. Let me go down here if I can. Kim says, black women are destroying the Democratic Party. They're acting against whites, and particularly white women. There is a thing that black establishment Democrats, women, are doing, which is really hurting, is they are being so condescending and openly racist because black women who are in the Democratic Party establishment believe that they are untouchable. And I'm not joking. I've met some of them. If you're a black woman in the elite status Democratic Party, you believe you are untouchable. Like a black woman judge believes they're untouchable. Like you get, remember that mayor from the one city, I forgot her name, she had to get arrested and like put her in jail because thought she was the queen. That is not uncommon to when it comes to black women in the establishment Democratic Party. They believe they're untouchable. You sit on MSNBC, the most racist, horrible, nasty black woman on MSNBC say the most terrible stuff and think I'm untouchable. I'm untouchable. So there's some validity to that. I've seen it. So yes. Master Manawa says the Democratic woman will change genders like an Amazonian river frog. Well, there we go. Mike says, but Larry, under Dem/progressive ideology, Olivia is the most manly of men. That's how they want men to be seen. Subordinate, weak, and massively feminine. This goes back to my earlier point. David Hogg, compared to Olivia, again, it's relative. Guy's a stud. So I think he went too far. So yes. But my other point is, wow, with Olivia. Like, wow. Could you have found anyone else to make more fun of? No. Mrs. says, how did I not know Vosh is gay? Not that it matters, but how? I don't know. He talks about it. He does about it. I actually like him. I just think Trump broke him. Like if you watch his stuff now, I've watched some of his stuff here or there. I can't watch most of it because it's just Trump evil, world's ending, Trump evil, world's ending. That's all it is. It's unwatchable to me now. Most of his stuff is. But he's a smart guy, right? And he's a true lefty. And he's a smart guy. Trump broke him. And Trump broke a lot of people. They couldn't imagine Trump actually winning. It broke their worldview. It just really did. It broke him too. It absolutely broke him. I think it broke Crystal Ball too. She's broken too. Broke her also. They can't have TDS just destroyed them. It definitely broke Bill Maher. TDS destroyed Bill Maher. Wrecked him. And they can't recover. So yeah. Anyway. Rick says, funny, but Vosh gives me the same feeling I get watching Andrew Tate. Really? Why, Rick? Do you think they're similar? I don't know. I'm trying to get why. Do you think Vosh is as aggressive? I don't know. Mastermind says, Keaton Weiss is a solid dude. True. I like him. I've been on the show a couple times. I like them. They're New Yorkers. That's what makes them cool, Mastermind. They're New Yorkers. That's why. Yes, that's why. Missy says, I don't like David Hogg as a show. True. Yes. Joel says, I've never heard anyone say, I like David Hogg. I'm just saying, this is what they got. That's it. This is what they got, right? That's all I'm saying. This is what they got. What else they got? I'm not saying you guys are wrong. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, right? But is there someone else out there that you see that I don't? Is there some other masculine guys going to come out of the woodwork and carry the flag for this demo? Any masculine men they have do not want to carry the flag for this new Democratic Party. Well, this modern, I wouldn't say new, this modern Democratic Party. They don't want to carry that flag. Even Newsom is distancing himself from the party. Even Newsom's distancing himself. Like, I don't know about these guys. They got nobody. Hogg was willing to step up. They should have shut up and done it. So, how can a GOP bring women? By being more conservative. You might think I'm crazy. I'm not. Shin, the reason I brought this up on a show about 2 months ago. The most common religion that women in America are switching to is Islam. Yes, Islam. 4-1 women to men are converting to Islam in America. I think it's like 8-1 in the UK. Why? Women are looking for some type of community that they can feel respected in, that they can feel part of a strong community. Most of American society does not give women that at all. The problem that women are having in America in general is they are getting the same freedoms, or they already have. They have the same freedoms, the same abilities, the same everything as men. And men often don't have the same amount of community. Men used to do that through their families. But now they're not getting married anymore. So now women don't have those communities anymore. So they're looking for that. So being more conservative is actually what will get them together. If the Republican Party tries to go the opposite way, it will lose women. The women who go Republican, most of them are conservative women. Not all, but most are. Many of them are religious. Many of them are conservative thinking. Many of them want to be traditional. Many of them do. So you want to draw that? Don't stop being conservative. I would say be more conservative. If I was advising the GOP, I would say do not become more liberal when it comes to women. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because women who want more liberal will just go Democrat. You're not going to gain women by doing that. The Democratic Party is already there. The Democratic Party is already there. Democratic Party is already with just, who cares? I don't even know what a woman is. That's the Democratic Party already. They don't even know what a woman is. If you want to draw more women, stay conservative, but be more conservative. And as women start being unhappy, and women are unhappy, men are too, but I'm saying you're asking about women. As women are more unhappy, they're going to look for something, which is why you notice when it comes to men are converting also, but they're not converting to like Protestantism. They're converting to Orthodox Christianity and Catholicism. Men are also looking to be more conservative. If you want to draw people in, if they're GOP, be conservative. Also, why? Because the GOP is conservative. It has infrastructure for that. It has a culture for that. It can talk the talk. It can do its job very well. That's how GOP brings in women. Staying conservative. As women right now, this is the future. I'm giving you like, say, the like 10 years from now. Men and women are both becoming very unhappy. I've talked about this all the time. I talked about the other day. It's constant. It bothers me tremendously because I see it everywhere. We're not pair bonding. We're not dating. We're not having families compared to the past. Men and women are going to be unhappy. Men are already going conservative. Women will eventually too. They will eventually also, because there'll be another answer. Women will look for things like family to hook them up with men, or dowry systems, or family matchmakers. Women will go that route eventually. 10 years, 20 years, whatever that time period is, because they're going to want to be with. Most women want to have relationships with men. Not all do, obviously, but most do. They're going to be unhappy. They're going to want to find an answer. That's where they're going. So that will happen. Eventually. It'll take time. It's not tomorrow. It's not tomorrow, but it will happen eventually. Hope I answered your question. So, yes. Joel says, is Biden the most masculine Democrat? Is he still talking about beating the hell out of people? Tough guy. If you remember, Joel, Democrats ate it up when he was about, I'm going to take Trump out back into whatever he was talking. He's going to beat up Trump. Whatever. Remember that crap he talked about? Democrats ate that up. They were like, that's red meat for them. They loved it. They couldn't wait for things to beat up Trump. They loved that. Yes. The Democratic Party is starved for masculinity. Remember, he put his sunglasses on and getting his muscle car, and most people looked at him like, really? Democrats are like, Joel, they're starving for masculinity, starving for it. So, yeah, he was. Absolutely. Joe was going to beat up Trump. Remember that? And I joked, but if you remember, I said he should use that line often. Again, if I'm not a Democrat, but if I was advising Democrats, and I will advise Democrats or Republicans, I don't care which one, I'll advise any of them. You got to check, I'll advise you. Yes, I'm a mercenary. Don't care. I would do it. So if they were asking me, I'd be like, use that all the time. Somebody gonna beat up all the time. Absolutely, I would. They ate it up, man. They ate that up like it was candy. So yes. Alrighty. Kim says, men have been demasculinized for over 40 years. True. And they think getting into a line with genderless party is not going to be successful. Look, the reality of it is, this is going to be going for a long time. You're seeing it happen. One reason marriage rates are collapsing. You're seeing it happening everywhere. You're right. And now we want it back, right? Was it 70% of youngsters don't qualify for military service? It's a problem. Masculinity is not a bad thing. It isn't. Shin goes on to say, what would you make of a strategy of moving gender issues to the background and moving economic issues and other issues to the foreground? That way, it's not necessarily a tailored messaging to the men. Agreed 100%, Shin. That's the answer. And I said that literally months ago, right? And the guys in Abundance, the book, Ezra Klein and his crew, said the same thing. That's the answer. Trump is bringing gender issues to the front, and the Democrats can't stop but take debate. They should stop taking debate. You are right. Democrats should stop taking debate. And when Trump goes, whatever, DEI in Harvard or whatever, which means nothing, but he gets tons of press over it, that's just distraction. Remember, Republicans distract. Democrats dismiss, Republicans distract. So he's talking about, the DEI in Harvard. Who gives a shit? I don't care. It means nothing to anybody. No one, it doesn't matter. But it gets tons of press, and Democrats jump onto it. Oh, he's doing this, and he's so evil. Stop it, Democrats. Shin, you are correct. You should listen to you. Ignore that stuff and talk about the fact that young men can't afford housing. Economic. Talk about how young men can't get good jobs, can't find girlfriends because they can't afford to take them out on dates. I wish I was joking. That's a true thing. You're right, Shin. Do that, Democrats can win. But they can't. They won't. The guys from Abundance told them to do that. Do that, right? Told them that. The hardcore left, the eyes from RBN, Sabby, Sabrina Salvati, she's the same thing. The hardcore left says, go left economic. Bernie's been saying this for 10 years, at least, if not more. Go economic. You're correct, but they won't. They won't. And I say, why? Because the DNC itself is just an establishment, and all they care about is donors. And donors, the donor class does not want to go economically left at all. So the donor class is happy putting up all this gender stuff, whatever, culture stuff. They don't care. Put that stuff out there. As long as they don't change what this. I go back to Occupy Wall Street. The concept, I say it before and I'll keep saying it. Some of you guys hate when I say it. I don't care. The concept of Occupy Wall Street was a wonderful concept, but that's all it was. Everything else about it was garbage. The idea that the 1% controls 90% and we have to fix it. That is a wonderful concept. It's 100% true, and it's more true now than ever. The wealth gap's a problem, has been forever. I agree with that. That concept's wonderful. And everything else was garbage. The people who were involved didn't know what the hell they were doing. They had no actual plans. Their answer was socialism. That was it. I mean, it was a disaster. They didn't even have any demands. And how do I know that? Because they didn't just go break that up immediately. They didn't because they were scared. And because the guys on Wall Street, those guys in financial district were worried. They were like, this is a problem. So what did they do? Shin, they went, you guys got demands? And they went, no, let's have a drum circle and snap our fingers. That was literally happening. They would make some, I was there because I would go down there and have lunch down there because the local place was being trashed. I go to have lunch every day in Manhattan. I go down there. So that's how I saw them every day. So you walk in that little Zuccotti Park, you be there, and they would be like a drum circle, and people would say things like, we have to have equity or something. Everybody would snap. You can't clap because You can't clap because some people are affected by noise or whatever. So you got to snap. That stupid shit they do, but they do it. And they all snapped and whatever and said how awesome they were, and nothing got done. So then the people in the Wall Street said, okay, you guys don't know what you're doing. Okay, we want to keep all of our money and all our power. How about this? We're like, hire some gay people and maybe some black people too. And we'll like get some training that says trans people are awesome. And they went, really? Yeah, we'll do those 3 things. We'll like hire some gay people and some black people and do training that says trans people are great. Is that good? And they went, we won. And they left. And corporate America went, whew, got away with that one. Okay, so let's get some grifters in. Let's get grifters like Ibram X. Kendi in. We'll write him a check for like 10 grand and we'll be done and go back to the old ways. And that's what actually happened. So the DNC then became that thing. We are just virtue signaling for stuff that doesn't matter, and let's not change anything and be establishment. And that's been happening since Occupy Wall Street, at least, if not longer. Hope that makes sense, at least. I don't know if I went too long with that one. So anyway, Matt, thank you for $5. With all the endocrine disrupting chemicals all around and other things leading to increased estrogen, can this contribute to less masculinity? 100% yes. I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in my friends. I've seen it in people. My diet has changed drastically in the last 15 years, 20 years, give or take. And I can see it. When I was a young Marine, I could see how I was very physically active, all those types of things, right? Doing all those things. I was eating terribly, but I didn't care. I was 19 and I was physically active. It's fine. I got out of the Marine Corps, still ate like garbage and wasn't active. I exploded. I got heavy. I could see how I was acting, wasn't very masculine, all those things. Yeah, you could tell, of course. I had to change everything eventually. And eventually I changed my diet tremendously. My diet is much cleaner than it's ever been. I don't eat completely clean keto, but I eat very close to clean keto, very close to clean keto. And I could see a difference in my, I see a difference in my action, in my sleep, in my masculinity, in my testosterone, everything, an increase in everything. I can see it. So activity and diet does affect all the things. I agree. Of course it does. And I think it's done on purpose. Absolutely done on purpose. So yes, I think it is happening. I know some people say, Larry, that's conspiracy theory. Say it if you want to, because you don't like it, but it's totally true. You are seeing sperm counts drop all across the world, particularly in the Western world. You're seeing fertility rates drop everywhere. So yes, it's absolutely happening. There's no doubt it is. Some people don't want to believe it. You don't have to believe it if you don't want to. It's happening. If I was you, if you're listening, change your diet. Do your best to get the chemicals out of what you're eating. Do your best to get your chemicals out of your food. Do the best you can to get your chemicals out of your water. You will see a difference in your life. So I can tell you. I'm in my 50s. I'm still going strong. So yes. Anyway. All righty. JC says, MAGA supporters love racist jokes. That's true. You're not wrong on that. That's true. But there's 2 reasons why, to be clear, JC. One of them is some of them are actually racist. That's true. However, there's the second part, which is the majority piece. They're tired of being scolded. And therefore they want to like and say the racist joke as a stick in the eye saying, you can't tell me what to do. Does that make sense? So it's 2 parts. There are people who are, I don't ever want to say no, there are people who are racist. Of course they exist. But the vast majority are just tired of being told I can't tell racist jokes. And the funny thing is, I remember, particularly being a younger male, all the jokes I told were racist. Like all of them were. Racist. All of them were. And my friends, all of them were. My friends and I used to make jokes about our race all the time. Like that was a thing. We did racist jokes to each other all the time. That was a normal thing. It was common. But nobody cared because it was funny and we were teasing each other. If they went too far here or there, we'd say something and then move on. Happened all the time. Racist jokes were the norm. Growing up on TV, most of them, right, it was fine. And no one died. No one cared. Right? The people who are so upset about racist jokes, it's just virtue signaling. That's all it is. Virtue signaling. So anyway, you can't do it anymore. I get where it is now. So yes. Jared says, I'm surprised the Dems haven't collapsed already. I've been thinking they was since 2016. No, remember, there's two things to remember. One, there's only two choices in most people's minds. So if I think the Republicans hate me, and many minorities believe Republicans hate them, that's a truth. I tell all the time. Many minorities are taught their entire life Republicans hate them. If I think Republicans hate me, well, I'm a Democrat. Because what else option I got? Why would they fail? And they have the infrastructure. And to be very forward, and I say this often, Democratic rhetoric is nice rhetoric, which is why earlier, you go back before Trump, most youngsters were Democrats. Why? They didn't know it was all lies. I'm not trying to be flippant when I say this. They don't know, right? If you're 18, 19, and you hear Democratic rhetoric versus Republican rhetoric, and you don't know any better, well, Democratic rhetoric sounds way better. Everyone's going to be nice. It's kumbaya. We're all going to get a puppy. It's great. I like that. Let's do that. We're getting puppies. Yeah, everybody gets puppies. It's great. Wonderful. Right? Makes a lot of sense. But now, a couple things. One, you've got a whole lot more red pill content for youngsters. They have the internet now. So they learn a bit earlier, number one. And they're seeing how the feminist part, when it comes to males, is just not working for them. If you go back 10, 20 years, you didn't see that. So anyway, I hope that makes sense at least. So let me grab another one. Ray from nowhere, thank you for the $5. When I was a Dem, they mostly had women that I didn't want. Disagreeable, neurotic, militant. Well, that's what I mean. You find the Democratic Party is filled with effeminate men and masculine women. This is why when Shin asked, how do Republicans gain women? Be more traditional. There are a lot of women who don't want to be masculine. I mean, some women do. Again, I don't want the old people to get me, but a lot of women don't want to. They feel like they must. And I hear this and see this on women a lot. Women who feel like they must be masculine for one of three reasons. One, it's the only way they can survive. They believe that because they think the men aren't going to help them or survive, so they have to do it for themselves. Either could be single moms, they've been told themselves, so they think they must, number one. Number two, they think that's how they get a man. And you might think, what? It's exactly the opposite of what they often do. They think, if I want a high quality male, then I have to be a high quality female because males want equal partners. That's utterly not true. That's absolute garbage. And if you're a woman thinking that, please get that stupid shit out of your head. That's absolutely not true. Men don't care about that at all. That doesn't mean they don't like it. They just don't care. It doesn't matter to them at all. It doesn't matter. I remember thinking about one woman. I was saying things like, a man doesn't care if you own the restaurant or if you're a waitress. He doesn't care. It's fine. Either one's fine. He likes you. He doesn't care what your job is. Doesn't care. You own a restaurant? Congratulations. You're a waitress? Congratulations. He doesn't care either way. Doesn't matter. So I think a lot of women think they need to do that. And the last piece is some women think that's the way to success. They cannot be successful without being masculine. None of those things are true. You can be successful without being masculine. You don't have to be masculine to survive. You don't have to. You can be. It does work. But I think a lot of women think they must. Some women like it and are masculine naturally, of course. But there's a lot of women out there who don't want to be masculine. They just think they have to be. And if they learn that they don't have to be, they won't. So Ray goes on to say, rip Kevin Samuels. Yes, the GOAT to Godfather. The Godfather. Absolutely true. Yes. I'm going to grab a couple more of these if I can. All righty. Let's see here. I'm going to move down some of these if I can. Massman says, is queer a euphemism for, I don't know what Oreo is. That you're joking, I think? I don't know what Oreo sexual is. Queer now, the current usage of queer within the LGBT community is you're kind of like unsure where you are. And many women, and some of you might get mad at me, but I don't care. I'm telling you the truth how it works. Many women who want to be something other than just cis woman, because that's boring. In the democratic leftist world, that's boring. You're like a cis woman, that's boring. So you call yourself queer to be something when you're just a woman who currently doesn't have a man. I'm not making it up. You're a woman who currently does not have a man. You call yourself queer till you find a man you like. You then say straight again. That's a common thing. You see it all the time, particularly young women all the time, because they got to be something. They got to be something. So they call themselves queer. That's how the new way of doing it. That's no longer the slur that was used years ago to insult gay people. That has gone away. So yes. Andrea says, so non-binary counts as either male or female. Yes, non-binary, and get up the program. Non-binary, not one or the other. See that? And you will find so many women also that if queer will also call themselves non-binary. That's not a thing. I don't mean to be, if you go to non-binary, you can if you want, I don't care, but it's not a thing. Non-binary means I don't want to be called something, so I'm going to call myself something else. That's what it actually means. You're gay or you're not, or you're bi, whatever, but non-binary is just some people say. And half the women on the left just call themselves that. They either call themselves queer or non-binary because they got to be something. Look, if I can't be something, I can't be a victim, and that's a problem. And I got to be a victim. So I'm this thing. And that's where queer and non-binary pop up. That's not, those aren't real things. Neither one of them are, to be fair with you. Again, some of you be mad at me, but it's just true. Queer and non-binary are not things. And I support the LGBT community more than most people do. More than most people. I live in New York City. I have friends who are in all of the 4 letters, who hit all the alphabet. And I'm just telling you, non-binary is not a thing. And neither is queer. It's not. But they believe it. And I show respect. And I call them what they want to be called. I use the pronouns they ask me to. That's who I am. I do it. I do it. I'm just telling you, when you see non-binary, it's not a thing. Queer, not a thing. It's just, I want to feel special. Dude, you're special. You're special. I love you. You're special. You're non-binary. See how special you are? I'm in. So anyway, just letting you know that. If you hear it, you know what it is. So, all right. Let me see if I can grab some more of these if I can. All righty. Rick says, if I'm not disgruntled, am I gruntled? Ooh, maybe. I want to be gruntled. That sounds great. I'm gruntled, Rick. That sounds amazing. I want to be gruntled. I'm saying I'm gruntled. That's what I'm saying. Yes. All right. Let me see if I can grab some of these here. My BLA says, hopefully we have some people watching tonight that tuned into the game show last night. 27,000 people watching. I remember that was a lot of people watching. I remember it was great. A lot of people watching last night. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I actually won because I just deemed it so, not because of anything else, but yeah, absolutely. So, all righty. Let me grab some of this if I can. Kim says, you are also a smarter candidate than Chase Oliver. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. I was trying to give you some interesting stuff. Yes. Lorenzo Hawley says, it's been a while. Just came in from the outside. The question is why men should give Democrats another chance. Ooh, nice. I would tell you why they should. I would tell you why, Lorenzo. There will be 2 reasons why they should. Only 2. 1, if the Republicans actually fail coming up here. And I don't think it's, I mean, a lot of people who like Republicans think it's a done deal. They're going to succeed. They may not. Republicans could fail badly here. Trump is gambling on a lot of stuff. And to be forward, if it pays off, he is going to be a hero if it pays off. If it doesn't, he is going to be a villain. That's how that's going to work. So if Trump fails, and I'm not saying he is or isn't, if he fails horribly, there has another answer. So my view is go third party, come libertarian. If you lean left, go green, but whatever, come third party. But at least if the Republicans actually fail, if that happens, you gotta go someplace else. You don't want to reward the Republicans if they actually screw this up and fail. That'd be reason number 1. Reason number 2 would be if you're in an area to where the Republicans utterly dominate, like right now where I am in New York, the opposite is true. Democrats utterly dominate. In New York City, it's 6-1 Democrat Republican. You should give Republicans a chance in New York City just because Democrats dominate so much. If you're in the opposite, maybe you're in Oklahoma or maybe South Carolina where Republicans dominate 6-1, I would give Democrats a chance in theory if they could prove themselves, obviously. Now, so far, they can't. They can't. So yes. Silent majority. Many women agree with men on DNC failure. True, but they would never vote for Trump. You're right, but they would never vote for Trump. And this goes back to Lorenzo's piece. They would just never vote for Trump. Doesn't matter. As long as Trump is at the top of the Republican ticket, there are tens of millions of women who will never vote Republican. Does not matter. It does. They have TDS. It does not matter what you'd say. They could utterly change all their policies. Democratic Party could change its policy to we're going to shoot every 3rd woman in the street. They'd be like, but this is not Trump. Democrat. So yeah, that will be you're correct. But as long as Trump's at the top of the Republican Party, it does not matter for tens of millions of American women. So yes. Rick said, I'd love for the Dems to be the party of love and unity and tolerance. They're the party of hate, identity division, and censorship. True, true, and true. They were the party of love, unity, and tolerance probably 40 years ago. Probably then, right? Jimmy Carter and before. I think maybe then. They were that compared to Republicans. Republicans were not the party of love, unity, and tolerance prior to Jimmy Carter. They were not. They were the party of Nixon, which was none of those things. So, yeah, I think if you go back 40 years, that might have been true. If you're older and you remember those days, this is the part that I think RFK Jr. thought Democrats were. He was like, that's what you guys are, right? And he's like, wait, you guys aren't this at all. Yeah, dude, you've been away for a while. This isn't your dad's party. Not how that works. So, yeah, absolutely. Mastermind Hour says, I couldn't call myself a Democrat until they got rid of superdelegates and made the DNC a not-for-profit. Yeah, I mean, the system was utterly broken. It still kind of is, but I'm just saying, yeah, you need to fix the system. 100%. Yes. Kim says, straight men are absolutely not going to align with gay men. Just won't happen. It's all about the one-way orifice they go with their life. Okay, that's not true, Kim. A lot of gay men and straight men can align. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. The question is on masculinity. There are a lot of gay men who are masculine, right? I know some of them, right, who are masculine. But not just that. Note, I said, I didn't say gay men. I said effeminate men. I did not, you never heard me say gay men, not once. I said effeminate men. There's a difference. And because there are effeminate men who are not gay, right? Well, I'm just saying there are effeminate men who are not gay. That's all I'm saying. So you do have that also. So I think gay men gay men want to get married. Gay men want to have good jobs. Gay men believe in the military. Some of them served next to me, none openly, because when I was in the Marine Corps, you could not openly be gay. So there were no openly gay men serving with me in the Marine Corps, but I'm sure there were gay men serving with me, right? So I think you can. Effeminate men is what I'm saying. The difference in general is, and it's a general concept. I'm going to paint with a broad brush here, but this will get you the concept. It's the idea of agency. What I mean by that. People who take more responsibility, people who take more agency in themselves, people who have more decision-making ability in their life, people who have more decision-making ability in their work, people who do things and take charge of their life, those people are more likely to all align together, regardless whether they're gay or straight, whatever. And those people tend to have masculine traits. Women too, who can have masculine, often have this also. Gay men often can have that too. Those tend to be more masculine traits. Not 100%, but they tend to be. So, yes. I hope that makes sense at least. Andrea says, if the DNC wasn't emasculating men and trying to convince them they were women, then maybe they would have more masculine men in the party. True, that's the point. And they've been doing it for years, Andrea. So now you've got to change that entire thing? Now, if you change that entire thing, okay, could it happen? Yes, but it would take, all right. Is it possible? Yes. Is it realistic? No. And the example of that is David Hogg. David Hogg is a minor cog in this, you might think, but no, he's the canary in the coal mine. He came out, and again, not super macho male by any means, not even close. But he comes out and goes, hey guys, I'm still a Democrat with all of you. I still hate the guns and all this stuff. So I'm still a feminine male, but compared to you other guys, I'm going to fight. Okay, tough guy, got it. So can I fight? They went, no. And he brought out the black effeminate guys to shut him down. You saw, I just showed them to you. He's the canary in the coal mine. If he could have been able to move forward and push forward, now he's opened the door for someone else to come in. But they shut him down? Think of the front runners right now, Democratic primary right now. The actual front runners. AOC, Pete Buttigieg, minority woman, gay man. That's front runners right now. How are you going to get men with that lineup? How are you going to get men with that lineup? And I'm sorry, one more, and Kamala Harris. So 2 women of color and a gay man. That's your front runners right now. Democratic Party. Yep. Just saying. That's not great is all I'm saying. Not great right now. That's all I'm saying. So, yes. All righty. MW Knox says Rogan, Musk, Kennedy, Dorr can appeal to men and were Democrats, but the party pushed them out. Correct. You just hit the point perfectly. The bureaucracy, the environment is anti that. That's the point, right? You have to do what they say, Democratic Party right now. And this is why the Republican Party is stressful now too. The Republican Party is not a working class big tent party, but it is now filled with working class voters and a big tent coalition. So it is now stretching and fighting itself now because it has to fight. It can't do that. It's struggling because it isn't meant for that, but that's where it is right now. Democratic Party is a party completely of authoritarians. It's not even close. Everything, and they act like they're not. They're totally authoritarians. And again, Rogan, when I was on Rogan in 2018, I called him a Democrat because I insulted him and called him a Democrat. You can see it. Watch the episode. Literally, episode 1167. Not that I know it. 1167. Watch that episode. Yep. Literally, I called him a Democrat. First 10 minutes, I called him that because he was. He supported Bernie Sanders. Musk, Democrat. Kennedy, Democrat. Jimmy Dore, Democrat. You're right. All these guys. Tulsi Gabbard supported Bernie Sanders, Democrat. Yeah. Democratic Party infrastructure is so broken, you must do everything I say or you're gone. This is why I'm saying they can't get men. Their system doesn't work. Their environment won't allow them to. They can't do it. And again, David Hogg is not some macho dude. And they couldn't let him do it. If he can't make it, nobody can. That's my point. That's why I keep bringing up Hogg. That's the reason. Yes. Sharpe fan says over on Rumble, can the Democrats win back some masculine men? Yes, but it will take big changes and generation to get there. I agree with you. It's possible. Not now. And there has to be massive changes, right? There has to be the equivalent of a Trump takeover in the Democratic Party, whatever that equivalent would be. I'm not sure. It's the, as I said before, it's the Bill Clinton 3.0. If that person shows up, and so far, I don't see that person anywhere. I don't see that person anywhere. But it doesn't mean they aren't there. It means I don't see them yet. That's all it means. I don't see them yet. Right? I don't. Now, I've seen people in advance. If you remember, the new star of the New York Democratic DSA is Zoran Mamdani. They're not thinking he might beat Cuomo. He's not. But they think he might beat Cuomo. I had him on my show 2 years ago. I saw who he was years ago. I saw he was a rising star years ago. I knew that already. I saw it years ago. I don't see a 3.0 yet. I don't see it yet. I don't know where that guy or gal. It's gonna be a guy. Sorry, who am I kidding? It's gonna be a guy. I don't see what that guy is. I don't see where he is. Somewhere. He's maybe like in the legislature of like Michigan or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where he is. But they're looking. I'm sure they're looking for that 3.0. That's the only way they can do it. There's no other way around it besides that. Otherwise, Democrats are in trouble. That's the only way they can do it. So anyway, that's all true. All righty. Let me see if I can go down here and grab some more of these. There are so many guys. I appreciate all of these. I will try to. All righty, grab some more. All right. I'm glad you guys are chatting back to each other. I appreciate that. All right. Grab some more of these. Godspeed says conservative minorities like me are liberal white people's worst nightmare because we kind of prove the racism narrative wrong. That's how Republicans love. Also true. I remember I told you there's a group of Republicans who are looking for, they're actively recruiting, looking for conservative minorities. You're right, because it does make them feel good. Those Republicans absolutely love conservative minorities. 100% true. But I go back to what Americua said. Most Republicans just don't care. But there is a chunk, you're right, who are like, ooh, he's Hispanic and conservative? Yeah. Ooh, he's black and conservative? Yeah. There are some of them who are that way. It's true. So yeah. And you get a lot of special treatment. True. A lot of special treatment. Absolutely true. So, all righty. Joel says, did Larry just describe Mrs. James? Yes. Thank you, Joel. You got that, didn't you? Another black woman, senior Democratic establishment, believes she's untouchable. Yes. That's a common problem. And the problem is Kim says it because she sees it. And she's not in New York. I see it all over New York. All over New York. Yes, absolutely. Mastermind got jokes. He says, I feel about the gays the same as I feel about the government. I'm fine with you as long as you stay off my ass. I get it. Yes, I get it. All righty. Let's see here. You guys going back? I appreciate all you back with that. I don't want to get in the middle of that. So yes. Phil says, didn't Nick Fuentes sleep with Destiny? The rumor I heard, and I'll say this as politely as I can, is that Destiny serviced Fuentes. That's the rumor I heard. Supposedly Fuentes is still, what's the phrase he used? Still has his V card because he's waiting for the perfect woman to his V card. So I guess that doesn't count if a dude services you in the oral method. I guess it doesn't count in Nick's world. So he still got his V card because Destiny took care of him that way. That's supposedly what happened. That's the rumor I heard. I don't have evidence of this, but that's what I heard. So here we go. Master says TDS was a real ball breaker. It was and still is. And this is the thing. You'll hear people all the time say, these people are stupid. These people are stupid. They're not stupid. I know a lot of Democrats, and they are not stupid. They are blinded by their ideology, but they're not dumb. They're not stupid. They can't see certain things because of that. Yes. Ganjan says, my prediction, this tariff stuff will be short-lived. However, the job issue in the U.S. will remain. That's a problem, Ganjan. It's a problem. If that's true, Trump's in trouble. If you're right, Trump is in trouble. The job market has to get better in some way, shape, or form. People have to get better in some way, shape, or form, or next year Trump's going to suffer. And Shin is going to be correct. And the Republicans make their butt kicked in 2026 if something doesn't change. So if you're right, Trump is in trouble. I want to have more predictions. I do. You know, I try to do predictions when I can. The problem is I still think this is all up in the air right now. In my head, I can see Trump being both a horrible villain and also a big hero. I can see both. I can see the wars not ending and even getting worse, even America getting involved in it. I can see that. And I can see him pulling it out of his ass and coming up with 2 peace treaties. I can see both in my head. I don't know. I can see him, screwing the whole tariff thing up to where the economy collapses. And I can see him making beautiful deals to where all of a sudden things get a whole lot better. I can see both. It's not obvious to me what's going to happen. And it bothers me because I'm like, oh no, I see this. I'm really in a spot right now, Ganjan, where I can't see either. Oh, I'm sorry. I could see both. So I can't pick either. I could see both. I could see Trump being a huge villain and getting his ass kicked in 2026. And I can see him being a hero and Republicans holding everything in 20. I can see both. I don't know. I'm not trying to scam. I only give predictions when I believe in them, when I feel them. I don't feel either one right now. I don't feel either one. Remember how long it took me to pick the election? I was seeing it multiple ways until the last month is when I gave a prediction. And I was correct in general. Mike Voss was on the money, perfect. But I was right in general, but I was off on the fringes. So I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to predict yet. I'm not ready yet. I could still see either one of them. I could. So Jeffrey Brown says, yes, they should definitely give up on men. Yeah, I'm with you. If I was consulting Democrats, I'd be like, stop this. You guys can't do it. Don't bother. Double down, triple down. And I mean triple down on your constituency and get them out. Come up with 80, 90%. In fact, if I'm Democrats, I would triple down on all the ists and all the phobes and all the victimhood. I know some of you're vomiting right now. I'm just telling you, if I want to win an election, if I'm consulting with some Democrat, I would probably double triple down on it. Get the people out who all want to be victims, who all everyone's an ist, everyone's a phobe. Get all of them out to vote. You could win. Just on, because Republicans maybe get 50%, you get 90%. You win. That's how that works. So I'm just saying it. Rick says, whenever I've encountered Vosh online, I got a really arrogant Trump fullist vibe. Okay. Maybe he just didn't respect the person he was engaging. Okay. Maybe that's why. Okay. Because of that. Okay. There is an arrogance to him. That's true. You're right. I see what you're saying. Yes. Liberal Lady says, I know that some crazy liberal people here in Jax, they love David Hogg. They are moms demand action. Yes, activists, which Hogg is involved in that also. They love government. They love government intervention. Yes, many women love that. And again, to Democrats, Hogg is a star. Again, to Democrats, he is. There's no doubt. He shows up. People care. People come out to see him. To Democrats, he's a star. I know some of you who aren't Democrats are like, how can that be true? Liberal Lady, you see it. He is. Yes. Gantgen says, what is really TDS? Sometimes I find someone with a rational criticism of Trump gets labeled TDS, or TDS when someone criticizes Trump as a way to silence unfavorable opinions. No, it's TDS is when two things I would say. Number one, it's when every single issue, no matter what it is, whether it's local, national, state, doesn't matter, comes back to Trump. So I get my car towed, right? And you go, see that? That's because Republicans did this because Trump, but that's TDS, right? Where everything goes to Trump no matter what. That's one. Number two, when you won't listen to anything because Trump is bad. Like whatever Republican says, whatever Trump says, you don't have an argument, you don't have a discussion. It is just but Trump. That's TDS. And I think without question, guys like Vosh have it. Everything is Trump's fault. Every other video is about Trump. He's the end of the world. He's the worst thing in the world. We're all dying because of it. So yes, there we go. Nate's over on Rumble. He says, Trump has not turned out to be Trump has not turned out to not be the anti-war guy. Hold on, knots on that one. One, two, bunch of knots. Yeah, I don't, and that's what I was just saying, Nate. I don't know, right? I can see us being involved in the Gaza war or the Ukraine war, and I can see us coming up with a peace treaty. I could see both. I don't know where to go here. I don't know where to go here. I hope I answered your question, Ganjan. So let me keep going if I can. All righty. JC says, how long has this been streaming? It has been streaming since 7 p.m. Eastern, so almost 2 hours. Yeah. I go long. I often do. So yes, I definitely go long. Absolutely. Phil says, if the Republicans win by becoming more conservative, do Democrats win by going for the left? Being a truly liberal party? Yes, but economically. Yes, Phil. If the Democrats actually want to win, this is what Shin was saying. This is what the Abundance book is saying. This is what, believe it or not, it's what Brianna Joy Gray is saying. The Democrats need to go economically left. But here's the problem. Their donor base is establishment and doesn't want to go economically left. This is where the donor base doesn't support Bernie. Bernie is economically left. The individual person supports Bernie. The establishment does not. The establishment want to go economically left. That'll crush the economy. They don't want that. That's redistribution of wealth. They don't want that. So yes, if the Democrats were to go economically left, I am not economically left. I think it's a terrible idea personally. But to be forward, Americans like that stuff. Americans do like that stuff. They like economic left. Get rid of the billionaires. They're bad people. They like that stuff. So yes, that is how you would do it. 100%. So Kim says, I was accused of TDS simply because I absolutely do not like Trump based on the self-made reputation of the 70s and 90s. I agree. People do it too also. People do it just to get back, get mad at you and shut you down. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Mike says, yes, keep running my perfect predictions, Larry. You were right, brother. I give you credit. It was true. I brought you on the show so you could gloat. It's true. He was right. Mike was correct to the actual number. And to give him credit, he actually produced it. He actually produced that prediction before I did. So he gave his prediction early and was correct. Just, doing both. That's all. I'm giving you, it's true. Absolutely true. Yes. All righty. So if I can grab a couple of these here. Ganji goes on to say, Nick Fuentes seems like a broken man. Actually, I feel like he's actually he's clearly a bad guy, but I think he knows exactly what he's thinking. Like, he's like, this is where I am. He's true to his horrible takes. I mean, I'll give him that. He is true to his horrible takes. That's what I'm saying. So, all right, let me see if I go down here. Rick says, Trump is proof that you can saturate media and culture with smears against him and he wins. Yes. Libertarians are proof that saying nothing at all makes us non-existent. True. Yes. Absolutely true. Yes. 100% true. Yes. 100% true. No matter what, when you're in trouble, scolding doesn't work is what I'll say. Right? Scolding doesn't work. Absolutely true. Scolding does not work. Yes. So JC says, and the Dems don't support military or cops. Americans wouldn't care, JC, if they actually were solving problems. Americans would get rid of that. They'd be like, whatever. But Democrats aren't solving problems. Their cities are a disaster, and they don't support military and cops. That's crushing them. That's crushing them. If they were solving, you can be a jerk in other ways if you're solving other problems, right? So you can do that, right? If Democratic cities were all wonderful places where everyone was making money and everything was great and wonderful, if that were true, clearly it's not. But if it was, if San Francisco was a great place to live, it's not. But if it was, they can be that. Okay, they don't like the cops, but look at these wonderful cities. But now it's just it makes it worse. It's terrible. So yes, it is terrible. So anyway, I just hope that was interesting. I do want to, if I can, guys, ask you one more time, please click the button known as like. I know I bug you about it all the time. Why? Because I want this to grow. And because I want it to grow, please click the button known as like. It does matter. If you have not shared this, reposted this, please do so. Every time you do it, it helps. Put it into a Facebook group, repost it on X, whatever the case may be. Please do so. If you don't do it, you hate cops, military too. Don't hate cops, military. Instead, repost this instead. Please follow me as I tell you to follow me on all the things. Please do so. Subscribe on Larry Sharpe YouTube if you can. It's great if you could do so. Please do so. I appreciate all the super chats. Wrap me on Rumble, of course. Membership matters, guys. The more members I have, the less actual work I have to do, and the more I can do this. I want to keep doing shows like this, and it takes up a lot of my time and energy. And you guys email me lots of stuff, and I got to watch all kind of stuff. Take a lot of time up. Membership makes this work. Head over to YouTube, click that join button, $49 per month. Like $49, that's too much. Okay, go to Facebook then and click subscribe. It's $1.99 on Facebook, so it's actually cheaper on Facebook. If you really love me, do both because you love me that much. If you love me that much, do both. That's all. If you do both. Awesome. That would be amazing. But either way, that would help tremendously. I'm going to have a couple more comments if I can. All righty. JC says, I'm not saying everyone would willingly support cops, but they're necessary. My point being, whether you support cops or not, there shouldn't be a piece here that is anti-cop. Does that make sense? Most people wouldn't care if you were just like, yeah, whatevs, right? But the problem is they come across as anti-cop, right? That's the issue, and that's the worst part, right? Even if you don't love them, but you don't hate them. But I think it does. They come across as not liking them. So he says, so when we talk about Letitia James being in a vacated office, there will be lawsuits against Letitia coming soon. But right now, the issue you're worried about, Shelley, is, okay, but people don't know. Shelley knows this. Letitia James is accused of putting down the wrong, how do I say this that makes sense? She's accused, I have to say accused, I'm gonna get in trouble. She's accused of saying that her primary residence is in Virginia when her primary residence was in New York. That's what she's accused of. Now, New York state law is very clear about this. If your primary residence is not New York, you may not be the attorney general of the state. That is literally in the rules. You cannot be. New York State is one of the most sticklers when it comes to residency. If you want to be governor of New York or other things, you must have been a resident for the past 12 years, or you may not be governor of New York. We are sticklers over residency. They threw Bobby Kennedy off the ballot in New York State over his address. We are sticklers. So Shelley is correct. Here's the issue, Shelley. Her argument is she actually didn't do that. She was a resident of New York. Now, the problem with that is, well, then you lie on paperwork, which is a federal offense. That's her issue. So if she's saying that she lied on the paperwork, then the office is not vacated. She just lied on paperwork. It's a separate charge, right? So she would still be officially the Attorney General of New York. That is why she's not vacated, because she has not agreed that she has not agreed that her primary residence was not in New York. So after there's a lawsuit and that is decided by a judge in some way, what was her primary residence, if the judge says, oh no, it was in Virginia, then she will literally not be, she won't be the Attorney General. That's true. But if a judge goes, no, you just lied in the paperwork, okay, then she can be charged with something, but she'll still be Attorney General. I hope that part is clear. That's why it hasn't just happened, because you have to actually go through that. And it hasn't been adjudicated yet. It must be adjudicated. Until then, it's just accusations. And she will do, of course, if I were her, the same thing, I would delay. And that's what she's doing. Absolutely. I would just delay. Because in reality, she's going to worry about 2026. That's when her reelection's up. Her reelection is next year. So and she'll figure out if she's going to stay or not. If she gets hammered badly, she just won't run again. If she doesn't run, Shelley, they'll drop the charges. They'll drop them totally. They'll just drop the charges if she doesn't run, because they won. If she runs, they may still push it. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. So I hope that makes sense. Hope that was clear. All righty. Let me see here if I can go on here. Mike says, it's documented that primary residence in Virginia, thus A.J. James will invoke the law, either fraud or legal. Yeah, exactly. Yes. So one of those two is true. Either fraud or she's no longer Attorney General. One of those two. And that will be adjudicated in some way, right? The judge will go, no. Your primary residence was VA. You are no longer the AG. Or no, your primary residence is New York. You are the AG, and it's fraud. One of those two. But I still say that if she just says, I'm not going to run, then make a deal. Again, savvy people, if at all possible, will try to make a deal whenever possible. And she knows. So she'll make a deal. Cuomo made a deal, right? Cuomo made a deal, so did Adams. They both made deals. I think she'll make a deal too, whatever that thing may be. I think she'll make a deal also. That is my gut. My gut is she will figure out how to make a deal, whatever that deal is. I don't think she'll do any time. I don't see her doing time at all. I see her making some form of deal, probably including not running. That'll be or dropping out, but I doubt they'll have her drop out because that's really bad. I think she'll just like agree to not run or something like that, but maybe drop. But then you have the problem. The reason why the Republicans would not want her to drop is if she drops, somebody else more popular may come in and then be the incumbent. They won't want the person to be the incumbent. They'd rather have the person come in. Republicans can fight against the person who is a newbie, right? So I don't think the Republicans will want her to drop. They want to just say, I'm not going to run, and that will be it. That'd be my gut. Just my opinion on one, Mike. We'll see what happens on that one. But Mike is correct. It's one of those two, Missy. It is one of those two. Guys, we'll say thank you so much for today. I do appreciate you guys giving me this time. Do me a favor if you would. Afterwards, after this is over, please comment afterwards and live. And I'm going to ask you, I'll ask your opinion on this. How do or can they, Democrats, get men? Can they? Should they? Tell me your opinion, if you would. After this is over, put it in the live, if you would. And remember, if this is not live, when you're watching, if you're watching this the next day or something, 2 videos will pop up here. Please watch one of them for at least 8 minutes. The algo loves that too. I will not be on Sunday, but I will be on Monday. I will see you all